Today is 1079 day in a communication lessons to learn. I'm learning. I hope this will support your dreams, your goals, allow you to become the person that you want to become. Yesterday, I started sharing about feedback and the importance of feedback. Of course, feedback is one of the shortcuts to make things happen in life. If you want to really shortcut in life and to succeed, feedback is one of those things. Today, I'm going to really focus on the mistakes. What kind of mistakes do we do when receiving feedback? Because we understand that feedback is great, but if we're constantly making mistakes with feedback, we are not able to really get the best out of it. So today we'll share the things that we do to reduce the benefits out of the feedback. So number one, taking it seriously. Take it personally, not seriously. A lot of times we able to really look into the feedback and see that this is attacking to our own identity, our own ego. But we need to always detach feedback from identity. We need to allow, okay, say that this is taking feedback on my behavior, not on me. This feedback is based on my behavior, not on me. Because if we're not able to really make that separation between the feedback and your identity, the feedback will never be a thing that you proactively seek. Because you will be afraid, because you're afraid that it will hurt your ego, it will hurt your identity. But when you start to see that you're able to change your behavior because of the feedback, that's all different. So of course, the first mistake that people do, that we do, we take it feedback personally, and we need to really focus on behaviors, not on personal things. Number two is getting defensive. Again, I think there's a lot of part of first comes very, very commonly with second. Defense. So rather than really asking like what really is legit, what parts of what they shared, what the on the feedback is actually true. So it's rather than really spend time looking for excuses, justifications, reasons, and defense why we did that, and explanations. Now we're able to reflect, okay, what is actually true in that? And that means that we need to really listen without interruptions. Listen without interruptions. Listen without really looking about what I will say to defend myself. What I will say to give an excuse that I could look better. I think that this is a terrible thing, because if we're actually able to take full control of the feedback, we're able to get the most out of it. Number three is not asking for specifics. So it means we get vague feedback, we get feedback that's general feedback, and not asking specific information, we could leave a lot of great information behind it. That means that we always take action, and because we didn't understand the specifics, we make a lot of mistakes. And we need to get over and also feedback over and over again. But if we ask specific details on our feedback, we're able to implement immediately. That means we can save so much time by being much more specific and getting feedback. So when you say that, like, what do you mean? Those questions that really could clarify, clarifications is essential. So we always need to ask concrete examples, how to do it. And that will elevate our feedback much, much, much more. Number four is ignoring positive feedback. This is again one of my mistakes. I used to always say that, don't tell me what I did well, I know those things, but tell me what I did wrong. I want to improve. And I think that this is one of the big mistakes, because we want to have we need to know what is good, what is bad. We need to have very, very clear understanding what is good and what is bad. Because when we start looking just into negative things, our picture of understanding starts to get worse and worse and worse. And so we start to believe that we're doing something wrong because we are not focusing on the good. So we always need to, when we get the feedback, we need to understand we need to focus on the good. We need to focus on the things that improve. So when you focus on the good, you understand that there's a lot of things that works. And we need to keep those things that working. So we need to know what works. So feedback always need to include things that works and things that needs to get improved. And when we need to understand that, we need to celebrate the things that works, and then of course improve the things that needs to be changed. So this is one big mistake, because a lot of times when even you don't focus on positive things, people become very negative, and it's very hard to keep doing things that you feel negative about. Number 5 is assuming that the feedback is unfair. When you don't like the feedback, we sometimes start looking for excuses. Oh, this he has a biases. He's unfair. For other person, the feedback was much better. For me, he doesn't like me. That's why he gave me this feedback. That could be a defense mechanism as well. Looking for that this feedback for some reason is unfair. I think it might be like sometimes it will be the feedback is unfair, but probably there's a 1-5% chance. Do you want to bet on 95% or 5%? I rather bet on 95. So if I want to bet on 95%, then I'll ask, what actually could be right? What is that I do not like? Which parts I do not like, and why I don't like that? And then when you understand that, of course, you're able to dig deep, understand which parts really hurting you, and you'll go and fix that. Rather than really looking for problem where the problem most likely doesn't exist. Number 6 is not following up. Like it's a very big mistake on feedback. We get the feedback. We need to understand how to measure your action, so that when you go execute, and then you always follow up. Did you do it right? Because we might think that we do it right. Maybe before the feedback we thought we were doing right. Now after we receive the feedback, we going second time, and now we're thinking that we're doing right. But when you follow up and you ask, okay, this is what they did. How I'm doing right now? What else should they change? So when you actually get the feedback and you follow up on that feedback, that is one of the best shortcuts in life. That is the best shortcuts in life to succeed, because now when you know that you follow up, you get much better advice, you get more advanced advice, and that allows you to really enhance your skill sets and enhance your knowledge in a much faster phase. So following up, the true success is in the follow up. The true success is in follow up. The feedback that's not followed up doesn't have majority of success. I think that 20% of success is in the feedback, 80% of success is in the follow up. Did I always follow? No, but I think that this is a place that I need to improve, and I think that every single person needs to improve. Number 7 is focusing on the source instead of content. This is the flip coin. We need to be very careful from whom we get advice in certain areas. Because of course, if you were asking a person who never built a business how to build a business, it might be that they'll say that no, it's too risky, don't do business. But at the same time, if you like the business owner and you have a problem of feedback about the company, about the process in the company, and you are afraid to get a feedback from the lowest based on the hierarchy, the lowest person, least paid person, the feedback, that could be a massive mistake. I was speaking with a lot of business owners, and I know that a lot of business owners, the best feedback, the best advice that they get to how to scale their business, a lot of times people comes from the newest person or the person who is theoretically at the bottom of the hierarchy, because they see much more a lot of times. So being able to focus on the content and asking where is that feedback actually beneficial? How we could use this feedback? So sometimes not discounting where that feedback is coming from is the key to success, because it's a big mistake. It's a big mistake sometimes to say that, oh, this person is not qualified to give me feedback, and that could lead to really missing $1 million change that could potentially bring a lot of positive change. Number 8 is failing to reflect and apply the feedback. So that means that it might be that you're going to get the feedback, you receive the feedback, that's great. But did you apply? Did you execute on the feedback? Did you reflect on the feedback? Because it might be that you're seeking feedback, but when you get the feedback, you do not reflect on that and do not execute on that. So why the feedback is in the first place? Why waste the time going after getting the feedback, getting advice, And I know that sometimes we just want to validate what we're doing. We don't want to change. We want to do exactly what we're doing, and we're hoping that when we will go to some kind of great person who knows a lot and will say what we do, and they will get the feedback and they will validate what we're doing. But sometimes we'll will not validate what you're doing, and will not agree what they said. And a lot of times we do not agree with what they said. We don't agree with feedback because they have a much better perspective and you do not have that perspective. So sometimes we need to do feedback, execute on feedback without really understanding it, without truly agreeing with it. When we'll execute on that, we'll start, oh, that's what you meant. Now I see it. It happens so many times when I execute on the feedback. I didn't believe in feedback. I didn't understand the feedback. I just executed and it worked. I think that a lot of times people does that. A lot of times people just looking for validation, not for actual feedback that they could execute on. Number 9 mistake is that overreacting to negative feedback. So then, of course, we have received the positive feedback and we received some areas of improvement. Areas of improvement. So we agree with positive, but we said that no, I don't agree with that negative. Though I don't agree with those positive, those areas of improvement. And if we are so disappointed of that those areas of improvement, and sometimes almost like that feedback is like all or nothing. All or nothing. That means that if it's good or everything is wrong. So we don't accept anything. I think that is a big mistake. We're not supposed to overact in neither the positive nor the negatives. We always say, okay, what do I need to take on? What I could really take in? Now, of course, the feedback is great. Positive things is very important because we need to keep doing what's working. That's the great feedback. We need to keep doing what's working because sometimes we don't know what's working. So having a feedback what's working is important. And then, of course, the things that we're able to improve. And both of them is very essential. And we're not supposed to overreact to it. Number 10 is not seeking feedback proactively. So that means, of course, when we having feedback, we need to follow up. But sometimes it might be that we don't seek feedback in the first place. And this could be probably one of the biggest mistakes in life is that we do not seek for feedback. We do not seek coaching. We don't seek mentorship, teaching, knowledge, advice, guidance. All those words are essential. And I think that feedback is one of the things that really you're able to get feedback from so many different people. And we're supposed to seek and ask who I could get feedback now. I think when I share right now, I realize that I need to ask this question: who I could get feedback now, and go and execute, go and ask, go and execute based on the feedback. So this is again my next month will be planned to really go and seek feedback that I could execute and learn more and see and get more success. Number 11, and the last one is not acknowledging the feedback. I think that is again one of the keys to success is I love this saying. What you appreciate appreciates. What you appreciate appreciates. That means if you don't appreciate, you don't get more of it. So gratefulness, appreciation is a key success. If you have a little money, you appreciate what you have, you will have a little more of it. If you have a health a little bit, you appreciate, you will have better health. Because it's much easier to nurture what you appreciate. If you hate what you have, if you hate and you are executing based on your lack, of course, it's very hard to really attract success. But when you execute based on gratefulness and appreciation, it's much easier to succeed. So we need to appreciate feedback. The more we appreciate feedback, the more feedback we'll receive. And the more feedback we receive, the easier it is to really have the shortcuts to success. So I hope that you will reflect as well. How often do you get feedback? How often do you do those mistakes that I shared today regarding receiving feedback? And I hope that you will go outside and you'll receive more feedback. And especially, we have a couple months left till 2024. I think that we can execute very well. And if you want to achieve the best result by the end of the year, we need to seek feedback. So I hope you choose to win and see you tomorrow.